Mic check, check, check.
Check, check, check. Check, 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 check. Check. Check, check. Yeah. So can I hear or no? Mm. May have to be like this then. If I-
is Dominique Grandin-Allard. I am a 19 years old college student and a current member of Waterski Canada's national team. This summer, I'll be skiing with the rest of Team Canada at the U21 Worlds in Edmonton, Alberta. I'm super proud to represent Team Canada at Worlds. Come join us in Edmonton, Alberta, July 4 to 7, or online at showandpark.com as we take on the podium at home.
You had that in over here, don't you? No, that's going to, yeah. So, I'm going to push that up. Alright. I'm going to stop recording. Okay.
Good morning and welcome to the 9th IWWF Under-21 World Waterski Championships presented by Shalom Park Waterski Training Center in conjunction with World Waterskiers, Waterski Wakeboard Canada, and the International Waterski and Wakeboard Federation. We are excited to have you join us and kick off this incredible, inspiring event towed by Nautique Boats, brought to you by Wizard Lake Marine. This team event hosts the world's most talented three-event water skiers competing for the honor to put their name in the history books as the 2019 overall Under-21 World Champion. Make sure to take advantage of everything the site has to offer, from the amazing boats on display in the Nautique tent and the sponsors exhibits and much more. Well, Stevie, I'm joining you in the booth. I've been out of pocket, but I'm here, and we've got some preliminary jump going on.
Yeah, absolutely. Already on to our second skier here in the Men's Series 3 preliminary round. First skier off the dock, Miguel Alampart of Chile, managed a 35-meter jump to start things off. And now on the water, also representing the country of Chile, we have Jose Brown.
All right, so Jose Brown getting geared up and ready. Just a spectacular day out there. I mean, you take a look at the conditions. I mean, just glass calm water. I mean, no penetration by the wind whatsoever. So the results are going to be big anticipation coming into this weekend, because already world records have been broken, and you've been covering those all week. We'll jump down to Jose right here. Let's take a look at this.
Yeah, so you see he's making that last turn into the ramp, waiting as long as he can, going to slingshot himself. Timing not quite right on that jump. So, of course, in the jump event, it is going to be their farthest of the three. Each jumper gets 3 attempts at the ramp. Their farthest is going to be the one that counts. And obviously, timing or body position not quite right on one of these positions. The athletes are going to elect to let go of the ramp, ski around, and they'll get another attempt.
So Jose is going to sit down. Looks like he's signaling to the shore and says he's going to bring it down. And Stevie, break that down for us, because you basically got an event where it doesn't really matter about form. It's all about distance and how you get that distance. What are we looking at in the jump event here this morning?
Yeah, so jump is a combination of several things. Number one is going to be speed. The more speed you have coming into the bottom of the ramp, the further it's going to carry you on. Second thing is going to be your body position. Coming into the ramp, you need to make sure you're in a nice body position right over top of your skis. So as you hit that ramp, you're going to be able to transfer all that energy up into the air and get all your lift off the ramp. So that's the second part. You need the speed, you need the lift. Once you have those, it's all about that body position in the air, getting yourself up over the tips, milking all that distance. The skiers are going to try and mimic an airplane wing and keep themselves up in the air. So I always like to say speed plus height plus flight is what's going to equal big distances.
That's the formula we're looking for here this morning. So Jose is going to go down the lake. They'll turn him around, bring him back in for his next jump. Looking at his, looks like his practice personal best there, 42 meters. So looking to punch one out here this morning. Now, going to the jump format early in the morning, for some of these guys, they're probably not used to putting on the big sticks and getting out there.
Yeah, typically jumping something done a little later in the day once these guys are a little bit more awake. But some of the weather we have rolling on, coming on in, we've started with the jump. So a little bit of an adjustment for these guys, but these are the best skiers under 21 years of age in the world. So should have no problems adapting. And let's bring it to Jose here.
All right, looks like Jose going to utilize that three-quarter approach, two-handed turn, and up and over. And a good jump right there. Can he ride it out? And he can. So the other element of this event is not only how far you can go, but you must ride out the jump. And he does just that. So he posts his first score of the day, and we'll get an official confirmation on that distance. Looks like 37.5 meters. So just to back a little bit of his personal best, looking to put it out there on jump number 3. Now, Stevie, you take a look at the jump event. Jump number 1 for Jose, he decided to pass. He gets over on jump number 2. But always an option for the skier to pass if they feel unsafe or they come to the jump too early or too late. But try to break that down for us, because a lot of times you get into that tournament mode. You almost want to take every jump, but that may not be the best thing. And Jose decided, hey, jump number 1 didn't feel too good. I'm going to make those adjustments on jump number 2 and 3.
Yeah, and in the jump event with those with the 3 jumps in the farthest of the set, there's some strategy that comes into play, and different jumpers like to elicit a different strategy. Some guys come out with jump number 1, like to have a nice warm-up jump, go a little bit easier, kind of get one on the board, get a feel of things, and then going to try and put one out there on jump number 2 and 3. Other guys like to come out nice and aggressive right on jump number 1, kind of pick their spot right from the bat, and then try and give themselves 3 good opportunities to get a jump. So each jumper kind of has their own personal preference, and yeah, whichever it was there for Miguel electing to pass on jump 1, let's see what he can do here on jump number 3.
All right, taking the load into the base and up and over, and is going to ride that one out as well. You can see a little bit frustrated. I don't know if he had quite the speed he was looking for into the base of the ramp that time, but 2 solid jumps to get things started here at the 2019 Under-21 World Championships. And off mic just a little bit earlier ago, we were talking about the level of this Under-21. I mean, that we're going to see some athletes out here today that if the Elite World Championships was held today, they could take that title as well. Truly, the talent pool is very, very large in this tournament.
Yeah, and it's just been super impressive to see this young group, both in the male and the female side of things. Obviously seeing the likes of Anna Gay and Neely Ross yesterday, who both have been competing sort of in that open level and really taking the women's trick event by storm. And as well, the young Pato Font, just 16 years of age, tricking a score 11.5, which on any day, that could win the Open World Championships.
That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable. So we're getting set and ready for our next competitor to hit the water. And it's Federico Jaramillo out of Colombia. And Federico had the opportunity to watch him ski over the last couple years, and he has really burst on the scene as an overall skier that can light it up in slalom, trick, and jump. So let's see what he can do here this morning. Let's touch on this a little bit. The aspect of this world tournament, a lot goes around this overall competition, but not only the overall competition, but the team competition. And it was interesting. I was looking now that, we're in Canada, and I was looking through the results of the last couple years, and really Team Canada has emerged onto the scene in the last couple years. And, you being from Canada, can you speak to that team and just kind of the trajectory they've been on?
Yeah, and this young team has sort of been together as a group from a very, very young age, right from the junior world ranks. They all sort of competed together at 15 years old, 14 years old at a junior world championship, sort of preparing for that last junior world championships that took place in Chile. And that team did take home that world title. Same team came back at the Under-21 Worlds and took that title down in Ukraine as well. So the team they brought here has really been together through numerous events, and it's just this young crop of Canadians that have come up and really just taking the skiing world by storm.
All right, well, here's Federico Jaramillo representing Colombia and his team. Got that one-handed release, going to load into the bottom of the ramp, and good extension off the top, and is going to have a solid landing. You were speaking about this, about the body position coming into the base of the ramp and how important that is, Stevie. There you see Frederico with that nice, easy landing. A lot of times, if someone's new to the sport, they go, does it hurt to go that far, you know? But when your body position, like Frederico was on jump number 1, those landings are quite easy.
Yeah, like I said, your body's sort of mimicking a plane there, so it does seem like you're sort of falling out of the sky. But the skis do give you quite amount of lift, and it does. A lot of times, if you hold that body position, the landings can be quite soft, and sometimes you'll see athletes just sort of land like nothing.
All right, so Frederico Jaramillo, distance on jump number 1, 38.9 meters. They'll take him down to the far end of the lake and bring him back on jump number 2. You take a look at jump number 2 now. He's looking to build, really, from jump number 1. This is truly, well, I guess in the trick event, too, you get 2 shots at getting out there and attacking the course. But jump, truly, you can make one jump and make it your best jump and win the competition. There is no combination of scores here in the jump event. The longest distance will go into the next round. So here he goes, pulling out on the 600-foot buoy. Frederico Jaramillo getting out nice and wide. And let's see what he can deliver here on jump number 2. Holds that edge right there, Stevie. Jump number 2. And, oh, good lift that time. And you can see just coming down right over the tops of his skis. Good jump number 2.
Yeah, really solid jumping from him, and important to note, just 16 years of age here competing at the Under-21 World Championship. So at being 16 years old, he is still technically in that U17 junior category here competing with some of the older guys in U21. And I didn't get a chance to hear the boat speed, but I imagine at being 16 years of age, he's probably elected to come out at 51 kilometers an hour, 31 miles an hour, which is slower than the maximum boat speed in this division, and just really a testament to him that he's able to compete with these guys jumping at a slower speed.
And that's a good point there, Stevie. You got the under-21, and so you know you take a look at just the sole junior competitions. They're all at that 31 miles an hour, but that 21 threshold really allows the skier, if they want to start bumping up that boat speed, they can. And there's some strategy in doing that, especially when you're a younger athlete, knowing that maybe next week you got to put this boat speed back down and your timing can get a bit off.
And jumping tending to be one of those events that athletes sort of shoot to peak later on. Obviously, he could jack the boat speed up to 35 miles an hour, but this isn't really his main focus right now. It's just 16 years of age. He's got a huge future ahead of him. So electing to still ski at that 51 kilometer an hour, 31 mile an hour speed. Just a little bit safer right now, a little bit better for the juniors. Typically, when you get up to that 35 mile an hour, more open level, you're a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger, and a little bit more muscle mass, and really just great at just 31 miles an hour, 51K. Already near 40 meters. Let's see what he can do.
So jump number 2, 39.4 meters. Jump number 3 right there. Looked like a little bit of an upper body crush. So jump number 2 is probably going to be the best jump of the round. Just want to remind everybody, if you're out there on a social media platform, make sure to tag World Waterski. Now, this is truly amazing. You take a look at the platform that we have the opportunity to announce from. We not only get the webcast live, but we get all the data that goes along with the webcast. So what we're looking at on worldwaterski.com is basically the whole skiing background, the whole profile, all of the accomplishments of the skiers, which makes our job really easy, but also for the viewer back home, you literally can learn about each and every athlete as they come up in this jump competition.
And it's just so great that World Water Skiers has come on in the last few years and really given the athletes that platform. You know, it's sort of been compared to the Facebook of water skiing. And the more you put out there for these athletes, the more people can get invested in them as well. And like you see, right, we can pull up athletes here, see personal best, practice best, learn more about the athletes, and just such a great resource for everything to do with water skiing.
Well, so with that said, make sure if you're out on those social media platforms, tag at World Waterski, and also this gorgeous site that we're at right outside of Edmonton here. You know, Stevie, you've had the opportunity, like me, to travel to a lot of places throughout the world and see a lot of different sites, but this is something very, very special. And when I talk about being up in the bird's eye view, I mean, we're like at the top of the mountain in a nest looking down at the action. It's truly an amazing place.
Yeah, just one of the most beautiful, most picturesque sites that you're going to come to. And obviously we have the advantage here being about 5 stories above the water. One of the best, most spectacular views to watch skiing that I've ever had the pleasure of having. And we're just so lucky that Ken and Donna Nelson opened this place up to the sport. They've allowed these athletes to come out here and share this world-class water ski site. And so far we've already seen several world records go down, and likely going to see a few more as the weekend progresses.
Outstanding. So make sure to tag at Shalom Water or Shalom Park Canada and at World Water Skiers on social media. Looks like Bailey Christie, representing Australia, is our next skier. They're going to sit him down at the far end of the lake and just kind of sort out the conditions, and we'll get right back to the action. But yeah, coming up from Houston yesterday to this weather, I mean, this is just a blessing in the middle of the summer. I mean, woke up this morning, hot cup of coffee, 55 degrees. I mean, man, it feels good. It feels really good.
You know, we've been super fortunate as we were looking at the forecast yesterday, kind of getting a little bit nervous, calling for a bit of rain all day and not really sure how things were going to shake up. But so far, conditions have held absolutely beautifully. Slight breeze of a headwind out there, and just absolutely ideal conditions for these guys to launch some huge jumps.
All right, so we'll check in with the officials to see exactly what's going on with Bailey Christie and his opening attempt. But they'll take him back, and you know, you talk about the site, you talk about the performances under 21. Really, we're still in the middle of the season. You know, a lot of this action started way back at the Moomba Masters, has progressed through the Masters, and now here we're at the under 21 World Championships. But it's a long season, and a lot of these skiers will be competing at the collegiate level. So that will be ending towards the end of October. So you know, you think about the gauntlet that they're running with the tournaments that they're skiing in, starting in basically March and ending in October. They are probably skiing close to the peak right now in the middle of summer, so this is going to be exciting.
Absolutely, and for some of these guys, we talked about the level of this under 21 competition. A lot of these guys are going to be competing in the Open World Championships in Malaysia in August. So really, like you said, a long season, needing to sort of peak at several times. Really sort of an interesting season for them, having both the under 21 Worlds and the Open Worlds fall in such close succession.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. It is quite a year with the stops ahead of a lot of these skiers. Looks like they're going to go out and check the ramp real quick. And as they do, you get a beautiful shot of that Nautique right there, that all-new Nautique. And that water right there, a great shot of how fast and slick that surface is that they hit. You spoke a little bit in the last couple days about that Nautique and the performances that we're seeing. Truly the ultimate all-around 3-event boat, but it's just like every year it just keeps getting better and better and better in these performances. We look basically over the last decade, going from the Nautique 200 now into this brand new hull of the Nautique. I mean, it's like the ceiling just keeps growing and getting higher.
Absolutely, and I had very fortunate to have lots of opportunities to get behind the wheel of a Nautique 200 growing up, and I really didn't think it could get any better. I sort of thought that was the best that a 3-event water ski boat could do, and Nautique came out with this new one and really just raised the bar to that next level. And we said yesterday they really committed to making a boat strong in all 3 events. So something that's so difficult to do, all 3 events needing something completely different out of the boat, and Nautique really working so hard with their engineers and that R&D team to really embody that 3-event spirit and really push the sport forward in all 3 events. It's just great to see.
And you take a look at that Nautique as it pulls away from the jump there, Stevie. It looks like they're raising that ramp to 5.5 feet, I believe. Can you speak to that a little bit? I mean, obviously the ratio of the jump changes from how the steep it is, and but the length stays the same. But coming in now with your body position, very, very important as that ramp gets higher.
Yeah, so every time the ramp gets higher, it obviously gets steeper. And every time it gets steeper, it's going to lead to farther distances, but that element of danger does increase, right? With each degree of that ramp going up, element of danger ramps up, that body position becomes even more important. And this year we saw a rule change where we've added a bit of length to that ramp on all 3 lengths. So the ramp being a little bit longer, we've taken some of that angle out of the ramp. Spirit behind that award, just the safety of the athletes, making sure it's nice and it's a little bit easier on their bodies, and we can extend those careers a little bit longer. And so far, I think that's been a great that rule's been a great addition.
Well, and earlier in the season, I had the opportunity to talk to Canadian Ryan Dodd a little bit about that, and I know that he's been very progressive in pushing that movement, and that's just it. How can we potentially go further but yet be safer? And then also the thing about jump is like training for the actual event, right? I mean, a lot of times we just think about it in the tournament realm of how far you can go, but these athletes really like to train and practice like they're going to ski in the tournament, and lengthening that ramp out gives them the better opportunity to hopefully take more jumps and ultimately be a safer environment to jump in.
And it's awesome to see guys like Ryan Dodd at the top of the sport really fighting to push to that next level. And I know he's had a lot to do. We talk about that new nautique. He's had a lot to do with the development of that, obviously breaking the men's world record behind it. And just little things like that where you just see that passion in water skiing that guys like Ryan have and the people at the top of the sport have. And it trickles down, and we're going to see that benefit here for our athletes at the U21 Worlds.
All right, so we're going to get set and ready for Bailey Christie, 16-year-old out of Australia, the first competitor of the day to raise that ramp up to 5.5 feet. And he is coming down the lake right now, and we're going to get set and ready for his opening attempt. So Bailey Christie, under 21-year-old athlete at 16 years of age, the first athlete of the day to go up to 5.5 feet. Going to try to get jump number 1 under his belt, making the turn at the far end of the lake around that nautique buoy, and here he goes. Great shot right there of the 600-foot buoy and the 500-foot buoy. Let's see his approach. Let's see where he pulls out. And that's just to gauge how far away he is from the ramp. And it looks like he's going to take it right between the 5 and the 6 right there. One-hand release, and he is into the ramp for jump number 1 and decides to pass. So it looks a little bit early from that angle. So they'll set him down and bring him back for jump number 2.
One being 600 feet away from the ramp, one being 500 feet. That's what jumpers are going to use to set up their timing. The ramp being so far away when you need to set that timing, that those buoys so crucial for the skiers to kind of gauge where they are in the course. So as you mentioned, going right between the 5 and 600 foot buoy, I imagine this time we're going to see him a little bit closer.
And that's such an important aspect of jump, because jump, a lot of it is, your angle into the ramp and just where you're at on the lake. And for a lot of these skiers, you have to make those jumps quickly. I tell a lot of people, it's like, yeah, you get 3 jumps in the sport of jumping, but like it happens under 4.5 minutes that you're out there, and you're switching sites, you're switching all these types of things. If you're coming from an environment where the water might be a little bit warmer to a Canadian environment where it's a little bit cooler, your ski speed and those types of things. So I think you're right on point there, Stevie. We're going to see him try to bring it down on jump number 2.
Challenging setup here down this far end. It is a little bit short, so as the towboat comes in, it's going to make that last turn, and the skiers need to pull out pretty quickly after that. So for a lot of the jumpers, doing a double weight cut, the setup a little bit short here can be a little bit tricky to figure out. Right now we have Bailey Christie doing a 3/4 weight cut, which does give him the benefit of having that bit more of a run-in. Difference being he's just going out to the left, to the right before making that cut left. Let's see what he can do on jump 2.
So it looks like hopefully a little bit later there, a good speed up and over, and there it is. There's jump number 2 in the books, and sticks the landing and rides that out. So good jump right there. Just some reminders for tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll wrap up the competition on Sunday, and starting things off at 9 a.m., the Morning of Champions prayer will be held on the dock. So make your way down there. This prayer is open to everyone, so please come free to join everybody. Also, the banquet. Stevie, I know you'll probably be at the banquet. I'll be at the banquet. That's always a good time. So a lot of things to go down tomorrow. But if you have any of those questions, today's probably the best day to ask those questions, all the tournament officials, of just how to get there. What's really cool about this, I notice it's so difficult sometimes when you're under 21, rent a car, do all these types of things. But the shuttle service that they have running from the hotel, man, that is a big, major accommodation for these athletes. So we thank everybody involved with that.
Yeah, big shout out to Ken Zada, who's been driving that athlete shuttle van back and forth kind of early in the morning and setting up, and really big thank you to him.
All right, so Bailey Christie going to be coming back. It looks like, let's see, trying to get his last reading on jump number 2 there. Pulling out wide on jump number 3. Bailey Christie into the base of the ramp. And another great jump. You can see using that two-arm approach all the way through, Stevie, and really trying to get the most out of that sling arm, carrying that one all the way down to the landing.
Yeah, you could see he really got a lot of lift on that one. It was just coming into the ramp, really had that good body position we was talking about. So as he hit the ramp and started to straighten those legs, all of that energy generated him up into the air and led to a best distance, and I think that was the furthest one of the set.
All right, so we'll get set and ready for our next athlete to hit the water. Good shot down there at the dock. And it's amazing this early in the morning, to have a jump event. Some of these skiers I know. I was one of those jumpers, Stevie, that was like, I was hitting that jump set like right at dusk every day. I mean, that was like, I don't know if I had to like, build the confidence all day to get there, or the body was finally loosened up. But I was noticing a little bit earlier, some people are running, some people are stretching, some people are just going out there like they're doing their thing like normal. But it's fun to be announcing jump here in the morning.
Yeah, a bit of a change of pace, like you said, right? Normally we're looking at slalom and trick in the morning, but a little bit different. And to be honest, the great thing about starting this early in the morning is the conditions.
Yeah.
Wind hasn't had a chance to pick up yet. It's absolutely glass calm, and sometimes the wind can be a bit of a factor in the jump event and can mess with people's timing and airform and things like that. And right now it's not a factor at all, and these guys are just going to be able to go out and push.
Absolutely. So looking at our next competitor from Great Britain, Benjamin Turp, taken to the water, 18 years of age. And looking back at that ramp, trying to get set and ready on jump number 1. Stevie, you mentioned that athletes' approaches are all different. Strategies are different. Some guys like to go out, hit jump number 1 like they're hitting jump number 3 all in. Some people like to build from jump to jump, and then some, if it's the first time on the site, they just really like to get out there and make sure they get a good cut into the ramp, and then maybe make the adjustments on jump number 2 or 3. We'll see what Benjamin can do. Taking a look at those performances, he's got a personal best around 41.7 meters, so he's going to need to ski right up to that personal best if he wants to lead here this morning.
Yeah, right now, Frederico Jaramillo, still our leader, 39.4 meters, but Ben does have a personal best, as you mentioned, 41.7, but let's see what he can do here on jump number 1.
All right, he's taking that two-handed approach. I'll look at that. Now, talk a little bit about that. Break that down, Stevie. That's the first competitor today we've really seen utilize lifting that left ski into the base of the ramp. You can get a great shot of it right there, and then setting it down right before he goes up and over. But, the theory behind that, trying to get more speed into the ramp.
Yeah, so your skis obviously are going to cause some friction on the water. So by lifting up that one ski, you're going to have less friction on the water. You're going to be going quicker. It also helps make sure that your body position is stacked correctly over that right ski. So traditionally, you're going to see the left ski up in the air. The right ski is going to be the one on the water as the skier drives through the ramp, and that just ensures your weight stays in the correct spot. And as we saw there, I think Ben was probably a little bit early as we watched on the replay there. Came into the ramp a little bit early, had to let off his pull, and we saw that upper body crush happen. So as his chest sort of dropped forward there, not able to get all the height. So had decent speed, probably going to need to bring it down the lake a little bit more, so he has to fight to get onto that ramp. You want your hardest pull right at the bottom of the ramp, get all that load of the rope that's going to snap you up in the air. So Ben's going to be looking to make an adjustment. It was a good jump number 1, bit of an upper body crush.
Okay, so Ben's coming back around the lake, and jump number 2 getting set and ready. Like you said, he was a little early on jump number 1, so just needs to make the adjustment and bring it down the lake here a little bit. Great shot right there. Okay, Benjamin coming in jump number 2, and that's a great camera angle, because exactly what you're saying there, Stevie, you can watch the skier follow through from the right side of the jump, come off the left. Now, he came up the center of the ramp right there, so that's a better spot for him. Still looked a tad bit early. You can see his left ski almost coming off that left side curtain.
Yeah, so he still can't afford to go a little bit later, but still made the adjustment there where we're still able to hold that direction through the ramp. So he got a lot more lift on that one. That's going to be a farther jump. But he definitely has more in the tank. Like you said, jumpers are going to aim right for as close to that bottom right-hand corner as they can, and they're going to try and come off as close to that top left.
And here we go. So jump number 3, and yeah, that camera angle right there, that's a camera angle I think some of these competitors wish they had. Look at that picture he's posted to World Water Skiers. It looks like young Benjamin Turp right there taking a bit of a load there as a youngster through the wakes. I love it. That's awesome. But that camera angle really will show throughout the tournament just how late these skiers are coming into the base of the ramp, and if they're able to maintain that body position. So here we go. Benjamin, third and final jump. Going to go with that two-handed approach one more time. Let's see where he ends up on the ramp this time. And he is up and over. I think he got a better kick there. So can he ride that one out? He can. That may be the furthest one of the round.
Yeah, you could see even a little bit later on that one, he did have to work to get on the ramp a little bit. Still coming off closer to that left-hand corner, probably than he ideally wants, but still a great jump. He was able to get all of his lift. So as you see here, great body position, back's nice and straight, and you can see on this replay as he straightens his legs, because he had that body position in the right position, it did launch him up into the air, leaning over those tips. Great third jump for Benjamin. And important to note, Ben is one of those skiers competing in all 3 events here. He almost made the slalom final, was in a tie yesterday. Runoff for that last spot in the finals. Unfortunately, Thomas Degg did get that final spot into the finals, but Ben, a really strong athlete in all 3 events.
We'll take a look at it right there. Benjamin takes the lead with 40.7 meters, so he's followed right behind in with Federico Jaramillo. So Benjamin Turp getting it done for Team Great Britain here this morning in the jump event. Like you say, a very strong overall skier, and man, we're making quick work of this first group here. Series 3 jump here at this 2019 Under-21 World Championships. All right, getting set and ready for our next skier, Damir Filaretov from the Ukraine. And he is actually going to be our last jumper in this first series, Series 3 here. Damir Filaretov. at the far end of the lake, coming in jump number 1. And he is going to utilize the full cut. You can see extending, lifting that ski as he just passes the 600-foot buoy, getting out wide on that nautique. And here we go with jump number 1. And he is a bit early, it looks like, this morning as well. So a couple competitors here this morning, just a little bit early into the base of the ramp. Gonna look to the shoreline and make the adjustments and come back for jump number 2. So I also want to give a big shout out to the food truck on site. The Cranky Ape will be on site serving food for the entire event. It's located right in front of me by the announcer's tower. So check out the Cranky Ape. They'll be on site for the entire event. Also, therapist on site, Dr. Tyler Fix and his RMT will be on site. And he will be here today and all day Sunday. So check out Dr. Tyler Fix. And a lot of big things going on all weekend long. You're not going to want to miss any of the action as we get set for Demir on his second attempt. Current leader, Benjamin Terp, with the 40.7 meters. And he's making his way around the far end of the lake and pulling out wide. Again, it looks somewhat of the same spot by the 600-foot buoy, but a more aggressive pull out near the driver. Look at the glide and his approach for jump number 2. A lot more speed. Oh, beautiful lift right there. That might take over the lead right there with his first attempt on jump number 2, really, of getting up and over. Look at the leverage as he builds into the base of the ramp and gets all of the extension. Knees completely straight. Great float time. Okay, so we are just waiting for the official confirmation here on the distance. Demir going to go back and get ready for jump number 3. Representing the Ukraine. .1 meters, 0.1 meters behind Benjamin Terp right now. You knew that one had to be close. It was in the ballpark. But with one jump remaining, Benjamin Terp still in the lead with the 40.7 meters. Now Demir just need to make a little bit of adjustment, a little bit more speed. It looks like he's got the combination of speed and lift right now, but needs a little bit more speed to try to overtake the leader. Demir pulling out wide, and here he goes. 0.1 of a meter off the lead. Oh, and another beautiful jump. So he uncorks one there on jump number 3. This is going to be very, very close of overtaking Benjamin Terp. We are going to have to see.
.43 meters. So that does take the lead for him.
And it coming down to the last jump right there. And, Stevie, that's what you're looking for. And he knew after jump number 2 that everything was coming together, and he found his spot on the lake to take the lead there at 43.5 meters. So a great showing there for Demir and also Team Ukraine.
Yeah, very, very strong team coming out of the Ukraine, and just here with 4 athletes out of the possible 6 they can bring, but still contenders in that team event because all of their athletes so strong in all 3 events. Really impressive run from them in the last few years.
It's truly amazing, and there's some heavy hitters coming up from Team Ukraine. You take a look at Series 2 jump, and the second skier off the dock is going to be Danielo Filchenko, who absolutely unleashed earlier in the year at the last chance qualifier before Masters. And one of those moments, I would have to say, Stevie, that you go back to and water skiing, that's just a very special moment. That moment, when you go back and look at the video, I mean, Danielo knew it. I mean, when he landed, he goes, dude, this is way out there.
That's one of those jumps I think we've all dreamed of, where we know it's possible, and he just kind of connected with it on the day, and everything was just absolutely perfect. His timing was perfect, his position was perfect, and even watching the video, you can tell as soon as he came off that ramp how much speed and how much load on that rope he had generated, and it just absolutely launched him down the lake and almost entered into that really elusive 70-meter club.
Yeah.
All of a sudden.
So that was an unbelievable effort, and we'll see him get set and ready in just a few moments. But next on the water is Josh Edwards, and an athlete out of Canada here, Stevie, going to get Series 2 started off. We'll see what Josh Edwards can put together. Looks like they're going to maybe run a timing pass here before we get started in Series 2 jump. So you take a look at the accomplishments of Josh Edwards coming into this tournament. He got the personal best right around the 52-meter mark, tournament best, 49.9 meters. You can start to feel the pace of this Series 2 jump competition start to accelerate pretty quickly.
Yeah, and being from Saskatchewan, Saskatoon, big crop of jumpers that have come out of there, and a lot of those guys skiing with none other than Ryan Dodd. So Josh coached by Ryan Dodd, Matt Winiger, and Cole Grant, and anytime you see Ryan Dodd listed as somebody's coach, you know they're going to be pretty strong in the jump event.
Absolutely. Always good to see Ryan and Brianne on there as his list of coaches, and it will be interesting. I've never had the opportunity to watch Josh jump, so it's one of those things, like having the opportunity for several years to be able to ski with Ryan, knowing his technique in the jump event. I always like to see how that translates in the way he coaches, and we'll see how Josh comes out. But Ryan, one of those guys that really has mastered the fundamental of loading into the base of the ramp. And that's really, you try to break it down. Earlier we were talking about, you look at the elite jumpers, whatever, they're out there towards 70 meters, and then you take about, plus 70 meters, why a guy like Ryan Dodd can sometimes be 5 to 10 meters further than everybody at a jumping competition. A lot of reasons, but when I look at his jumping, it's that load into the base of the ramp, and we'll see if any of that's rubbed off on Josh Edwards a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it started with Jarrett Llewellyn. I think Jarrett sort of had that style, real nice patient turn, came through the wakes and just absolutely loaded into the base of the ramp. And I think Jarrett probably back in the day did that better than anybody. And Ryan then picking up on that. So Ryan sort of is the next evolution of that technique that Jarrett had. And it's so great to see Ryan now working with the next crop of young Canadian jumpers, and possibly going to see the next evolution after that and see what they're able to do. Sort of taking all that knowledge and experience that Jarrett gained, passing it on to Ryan. Ryan developed it, has taken it on to the next level, and now we have these young athletes like Josh Edwards who are potentially the future.
And that's a great point there, Stevie, because you take a look at a guy like Ryan Dodd who had the benefit of learning from Jarrett, and Jarrett really kind of the first one of his generation to jump a particular way, but that transfer of knowledge really accelerating Ryan's career, and now Ryan has the ability to basically 3 generations now of jumpers and from Team Canada of giving that knowledge to these younger skiers. You got to think it's going to be something else. I mean, the way things are progressing and accelerating from that knowledge getting passed down and what the skier was able to learn is truly something special.
Absolutely, and it's just led to time after time Canada just can continue to produce these great jumpers.
Let's see what jump number 1 comes in at. So I believe that's our first skier from Team Canada to see on the water today.
And an opening jump 31.7 meters. Sorry, 37.1 meters rather. For Josh, so not quite that distance of 50 meters that we've seen from him, but it was that first jump, so probably a little